So we picked the perfect day for it as well.
It is lovely, and that's what I'm enjoying, is just coming for a ride with a friend as well, with the symbol. No, but it's sort of biking. No, I've got a weird take on this, so is like, I'm not really like, I don't like all the bike social scene. I don't want to be around loads of gatherings and stuff like that. But at the same time, at the right moment, having a riding buggy, because I do buddy, not bucky.
All right, bud.
No, I said
we're going to the valleys.
A buggy, I said, not buddy. Anyway.
Buggy.
Whilst I don't like the bike social gatherings and stuff like that, they're not for me, right? I get why other people enjoy them, but I don't, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, I do love riding on my own, but at the same time, now and again, it's a bit like, I wish there was someone here I could share it with or chat with while I'm riding. You know what I mean? Your indicator's on, by the way.
Thank you. See, that's why we need buddies.
That's why we need buddies. It's like, you told me when...
Indicator reminders. Enough about the Seville. Tell us about your VFR that you sat on today.
Thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, so, yeah, the VFR800. Now, the story of this goes back a good few years, a couple of years before I bought it, right? In that, I had a friend, and we'd ridden a couple of times together. He had a Blackbird, I was on my CBR 600, right? Now, when I had passed my big test, the bikes I was looking at were CBR 600 or the VFR 800. And what put me off the VFR 800 was just, as a first bike, an 800 might be too big or too powerful, or I might not be able to handle it, right? I was a bit intimidated by the number, you know? Yeah, of course. Looking back, I shouldn't have been. I think it's such an easy bike to ride now. But anyway, so... And as I had the CBR 600, I sold that, I bought the Street Tripper, and I bought the Tiger, and I was always like keeping an eye on the VFRs, and like, I wouldn't mind picking one up as like a winter hack, or a second bike, or whatever, or a project. Anyway, my mate, he'd gone through a lot of problems, and he started off with him having a Blackbird, and he had a lot of problems, and he was moving house, and he had no space to keep it, so he asked me, can I put my Blackbird in your garage? And I said, yeah, no problem, because I had space. So and he kept it there, and then eventually he took it, and we kept in touch, and then randomly, just like turned up one day, and he sold the Blackbird, and he bought this VFR, right? And I immediately, I was like, I remember these. I was looking at these when I first passed my test, and I was telling him the story and all that. And then about sort of a few months later, I think I actually said to him as he went, he let me have a quick go of it up and down the road, and I had a quick go of it. I was like, yeah, it's lovely. And as he left, I said, if you are ever selling it, let me know. And that was, within a few years, a few months, he gets back to me, he goes, I am going to sell it, and you did show interest, so I was going to give you the first refusal or whatever. And I was like, all right, okay. He goes, I got to put it through the MOT. I said, right, okay. Because I'd looked at these bikes, I knew, I'd done my due diligence, and I knew what to look for. And one of the things is the steel header pipes rot on them because they're exposed and they're not great, right? So I said, what are the header pipes like? He goes, they're fine. He goes, I'm going to put it through the MOT anyway. And he'll have a 12-month MOT for you. And we agreed a price, right? I forget what it was, but she puts it through the MOT, it fails the MOT on the header pipes, right? So he goes, don't worry, I'm going to put stainless headers on it for you. So he did that, it passed the MOT, and then I get another message from him saying, I've done a lot of other work to it as well to get it through the MOT. And he goes, she's such a nice bike, I've done this work to her, she's lovely, I don't want to sell her now. I said, no worries, that's fine, no worries. So, about a year later, the following MOT, he comes back to me, he goes, I have decided to sell it now, and because I messed you about the last time, I give you a cut price offer. I was like, okay. So I'm this guy, like, just easy going out. But then he says, okay, like that, like, you know what I mean? But we're good mates, we still are. So, he puts it through MOT again. And as he's riding it down, well, obviously he's had someone, either he's done it himself or he's had someone to put these stainless headers on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had actually only changed the front. They hadn't changed, the back was still steel, but the steel on the back was fine, it was strong. But whoever's put the new stainless steel headers on hadn't changed the bolts. They've over-tightened them and they'd have popped the bolt as he was riding it down to drop it off and do the deal. Now, working where I work, I got a lot of mechanics and well, they've tarmacked this road lovely, haven't they?
Yeah.
Nice, so well, as I say, it is ended. But I spoke with them about it and they go, oh yeah, it's easy fix, you just weld something to it and you'll get it out and replace it. I was like, right. I had to obviously leverage in the deal now even further because I was already having a good deal.
Yeah.
But it just needed this one job done. It had already had the MOT, but while he rode it down to me, it popped and it was blowing. The exhaust was just blowing on the manifold. That's all the symptom was, right? The bike was rideable, just making a noise. So we did a cut price deal, and fair play. I was happy with it, he was happy with it, because I think he just wanted it short. He was looking, he'd got bored of it, I think he wanted to go back to something bigger, like a Hayabusa or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And you couldn't make it up, so that process took like a year or so.
Yeah.
Being offered it, and then something was happening and all this. And finally I bought it after a year of back and forth, and literally, after I spent the money to buy it, which was just sitting in my account, that big thing that you can't say beginning with C happened in 2019 or 2020, whenever it was. It happened literally, you know, when they said like that nobody's allowed out, everybody's stopping work and all that, right? And social distancing and all that, right? That happened literally a week after I bought the bike, right? And I get that some people might not think that's such a big deal. But when you factor in the fact that I'm self-employed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else was furloughed. And self-employed, anybody else self-employed listening to this will understand. I just sort of cleaned out my savings that I had sitting there to buy the bike. That was spare money. And then I had to go 10 weeks with no money.
Ouch.
10 weeks before the government started to even think about looking at how are we going to look after the self-employed people, basically. Mm-hmm. Luckily, all my bills were understandable and all that. Anyway, people don't want to know about all that. But it did come at a time where, what have I done, like, you know? So, slow down for the 20th.
Welcome to Wales, where 20 is plenty.
Oh, and then, not for long, pal. With a bit of luck, I think it's changing, innit? I think it's going back up to 30. So.
They're reassessing areas that have been...
Well, it is daft. And you got these people, like, they no matter what gets promoted that's stupid, they will back it. I mean, I will adhere to it. I'm a law-abiding person. If the law says I got to do something, I'll do it, right? But it doesn't mean I agree with it.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Yeah, fair enough. Let's not do that.
Let's have your engine running for longer to make your journey longer. Yeah, let's just keep all the vehicles on the road for longer, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Around schools and everything, and parks and everything. It's like, anyway, I don't want to get all political and everything about that. It's like,
no, let's not.
Rabbit hole. Is it left here?
It is left here. Yeah. That's well you brought your sat nav with you, isn't it?
Yeah, was that you?
Yeah, me. Sat nav.
No, because I'm talking about other things. I like.
Get off your phone.
I'd lost my bearings. Anyway. So yeah, and the bike then, because of the pandemic and things like this, the bike sort of just sat there. And I had like a hole in the roof of my garage that was leaking water, and it was near the bike. It wasn't under the bike. I didn't put the bike under it, but I couldn't put the bike anywhere else, and it was getting like splashed on a bit, like in the winter. So when it came to me, like, oh, let's try and sort this exhaust out. I sort of did a build. I did want to film it, but because I never done like a project or a build before, I didn't really want to do it on YouTube. Because I was concentrating on learning the new skills, and particularly with this bike, because this bike is different to most other bikes with regards single-sided swing arm, V4 engine, link brakes, you name it. It's got a lot of unique things that a lot of other your normal stuff on other bikes they don't have, like. So yeah, it took me a while, but I finally got into the mood to get this done. And it started off with just the manifold bolt that needed changing, right? And it quickly led to everything else. In the end, I was like, I'm doing more or less a full rebuild on it.
Yeah, you did.
And everything that needed changing. It's easier to just say, rather than list everything. I mean, I roughly, right, yeah, headstock bearings, full brake rebuilds on all the calipers and everything. Seals, pistons, I dressed them up because I'm a metal polisher. I just dressed them up on the polishing wheel, and they were great. And yeah, everything is sort of like, as soon as I was, well, while I'm here, I'll do that. And then I was opening someone else up and spotting someone else, and one thing was just leading to another. But altogether, I still managed, even though I totally, like the exhaust, when I took that, I realised the exhaust that they'd fitted was like some second-hand thing. It was a bit rough. I was struggling to get connectors with it. So I just went, you know what? Because I hadn't decided whether I was going to do it up and sell it either. But I made the decision, I'm going to go full system.
Not use pedestrians, right?
Yeah, go on, pal. All right, no worries. I made the decision, I'm going to go full system new. All new bolts, everything, so I know it's all good. But I knew once I do that, and it's the Delkovich I went with, rather than the Black Widow. I preferred the look of the Delkovich. It's about the same price. But I knew once I've outlaid that money on the bike for a full exhaust system, stainless all the way through with a tri-over can. And I didn't go stubby, because I hate stubby cans. They're obnoxious. You gotta have a medium-sized can. I don't like the long ones either, to be honest with you. I like it like medium. Anyway.
Yeah. Like your height.
Like my, yeah. So once I'd outlaid the money for a new system, I was like, right, well, I'm keeping it now. It's going to be for me. And it was like, it took me a good few months to do all the rebuild. Cool. And I was having all this build-up of, I've never ridden it properly. So I don't know what it feels like, but I had this thing of, I do like the idea of the sound of the V4, because I'm a triple fan, but the next best one is the V4 for me, then a V-twin, then a parallel twin, and then lastly, an inline 4, unless, mind you, saying that some V4, inline 4s, they do jump above, like, the BMW S-Thou engine that's in two of their bikes, the Naked, the sports bike, and it's in the Tourer bike they got. I love the sound of them. Somehow they get that sounding really nice. But anyway, so going back to this bike, yeah, it took, all in all, with the price of the bike and the parts I spent a few months rebuilding it. And she's like a new bike now, but I think she's owing me about 1,200-1,300 quid. Yeah. And this bike is like, you see the reviews of other people, right? There's a few other YouTubers that have done what I did to it, but they've YouTubed it, they've filmed it. There's one guy in America, Hero RR, his name is, and he does loads of good videos, but he does a really good breakdown on the VFR about the history of it. But also he's got a video series where he's rebuilding this model, the 1998 model, the FI. Now, a lot of people, they prefer, there's not an argument, but a debate then between VFR owners and enthusiasts. Which is best?
Big shout out to Teapot One.
Is the camera okay?
Yeah, camera's fine, man.
Right. I can't see it at all. Anyway, yeah, there's a big debate between VFR owners and enthusiasts. Whether it's the 5th or the 6th gen that they like. Well, obviously the 6th gen is the VTEC.
Right.
Now, but the problem is with that, they went back to, well, it's not a problem, but it's just, it went back to cam chain adjuster and everything. Whereas the 5th gen has got gear driven cams, and it makes it far more robust then. Go the extra mile in making sure everything was done, because I knew at the end of it, whether I liked the bike or not, I was going to have something that was, you know, I'm riding it now and it feels like a new bike. Because I've ridden new bikes and I feel, and that's all a new bike is really. There's nothing magical about having a new bike. It's just the fact that all the components are new.
Yeah.
You can do that to an old bike. You can renew all the components on an old bike and it'll feel like new again. So, yeah, that's more or less the story of the VFR. So tying in, obviously this is probably going to be in 3 parts, this vlog that we're doing. First, a bit of a review that was for Nick's bike. We've talked about the VFR now, and I haven't actually, I don't know, as a final verdict, I mean, I've been riding it on and off now. And some days I like it, and some days I'm sort of like, oh, I don't know if I like it.
Indifferent.
It's yeah. I'm actually enjoying it today because I'm doing something on the bike. And I've used it. It's quite a good bike in that it does everything, right? I can take it to work, I can take it to town, I can take it on a longer journey. And she's easy to ride, but I think what it is I've been spoilt because up until last year, I've been riding a Triumph Tiger 800XC, and I've been riding that to Spain. I've been everywhere on it. I've done trips with you guys. I've done local rides down the chip wheels and that. And it's only until I've come off that bike and ridden other bikes again, I realised how good that bike is. In now the ergonomics on a VFR are as good as you probably get. For like a sports tourer, but they're still not nice compared to the Tiger. That Tiger is amazing. It opens up your body to be able to like check over your shoulder, whereas on this I can let go to be able to bang over my right shoulder, like safety check. The exhaust note is a bit addictive. Or what one?
It's a difficult sound to knock out of it.
Can you imagine one of them bales of E coming off? And taking you out.
And it would take you out too.
It would take you out. At the speed as well and the weight of it. The pure velocity.
They're probably about 40-50 kilos.
Yeah.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem.
You know,
after we till the line.
When you're done.